You know what sucks about being a nice guy? It's impossible to get laid. Jokes aside, being a nice guy sucks hard. There's really no other way to explain it. And I can say this because I used to be a nice guy during my loser years. And you wanna know something funny? One of the things that I hated hearing the most as a nice guy was nice guys finish last. I refused to believe it. I was like, no, those are all lies. And then when I'd, hang out with my fellow nice guys, same thing. We're in the same bus. They were saying, nah, nice guys don't finish last. Those are lies. But unfortunately, reality kept telling us that nice guys do indeed finish last. Couldn't get any dates, got picked on, scared of conflict, and it was a tough ride. And thank God, I was able to grow out of my nice guy phase, but for whatever reason, I can't really articulate why nice guys do finish last. It's something that I can't even explain to myself, let alone to others. So, I'm like, whatever. I was like, nice guys finish last. Didn't even give it another thought, and I just moved on with my life. Well, as I was doing some random readings and taking random notes, and whatnot, I came across two sources that were able to articulate why nice guys are kind of repulsed in this world and why they do finish last. Let me show them to you. Politeness is a poor virtue if it is actuated only by a fear of offending good taste, whereas it should be the outward manifestation of a sympathetic regard for the feelings of others. Here's another one. Only people with some strength of character can be truly gentle. Usually what seems like gentleness is mere weakness, which readily turns to bitterness. Now these are two quotes talking about two aspects of nice guys. Right, the first one is obviously from a Japanese culture, and the second one's from an aristocratic French culture. Although they're very different from each other, you can see how nice guys are repulsed across all nations. All right, and the reason for that is because being nice out of weakness is pathetic, and this is what nice guys don't get. Again, guys, I can say this because I was a nice guy. And during that phase of my life, I wasn't confident. I was underweight. And honestly, it felt like I was at the mercy of other people. So to avoid conflict, to avoid getting hurt, I chose to be nice. That was my strategy. And ironically enough, being too nice actually turned me into an easy target to get bullied and picked on. And believe it or not, guys, there's a dark side to human nature, and when they sense weakness, especially nice guys, they pounce. And honestly, I can tell you stories for days how a wide variety of people picked on me, people that honestly I would look down on now, but that's just how weak I was. But anyways, I digress. Now, with all this context, the obvious question is, how does a nice guy stop being a nice guy? Well, you guys know what I'm going to say. The first solution is therapy. In therapy, you got to do a lot of self-reflection, do a lot of work on yourself internally, resolving any emotional issues, and, trying to find that true essence of who you are and who you want to be. All right? But as some of you might know, that therapy might sound lame, or it's not an option. So I'll definitely give you another one. And that second option is learning to fight. Now, when I say learning to fight, I mean go join a combat sports gym, whether that's Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu, whether that's boxing, Muay Thai, kickboxing, anything except for Aikido what other lame martial arts are there? I guess Aikido it is. You know what? Modern day Taekwondo. Those two. Stay away. Anyways, I digress. go to a combat sports gym and learn how to fight. And the reason why is because if you are consistent and show up, you'll be mentally transformed. Because in a combat sports gym, you cannot be weak. Nobody will respect you for being weak. However, they will respect you if you show up despite getting your ass handed to you, despite getting humiliated, despite getting hurt. When you continually show up and are willing to learn, you will always get respect. You know, it's like that corny saying you see in all these fight movies, you know, the kid's got heart, right? Everybody will respect you, right? But they won't respect you for being nice. They won't respect you for being weak. They'll respect you for being someone who's willing to show up despite the obstacles they face, all right? And the beauty about combat sports gym is that mental transformation doesn't just stay in the gym. You actually carry that with you outside of the gym. You'll be a lot more confident. You'll have a lot more self-belief. You will know that you'll be able to deal with conflict. All that you learned in the combat sports gym will come with you when you leave it. And that's the beauty of martial arts. All right, that's why I'm a diehard for it. And also, not to go on a little tangent, but if you see a lot of like professional fighters, a lot of them were actually bullied, and then they went into martial arts and they had that mental transformation. So trust me, if you're looking to grow out of your nice guy phase, join a combat sports gym. And you know, I guess on this topic of combats, fighting, and conflict, one thing about nice guys that they don't understand about life is that conflict is a part of life and you can never escape it. If you try to run away from conflict, what you're really doing is just making yourself weaker in the long run, because to deny conflict is to deny your capacity as a human being, right? And again, when you go to combat sports, you have to face conflict. You can't run away from your partner when you're sparring. You can't. You have to face them and do your best regardless of what the outcome is going to be. And not to get too philosophical, but conflict is key for anyone's personal development. And when I see personal development that doesn't mention anything about dealing with conflict and whatnot, to me that's just sterile content. All right? The harsh truth is that the best things out of life come out of conflict. And this is not just me spewing nonsense. All right? Let me bring up Heraclitus, ancient Greek philosopher well before Socrates. The poet was a fool who wanted no conflict among us, gods, or people. Harmony needs low and high, as progeny needs man and woman. From the strain of binding opposites comes harmony. Conflict is both king of all and father of all. As you can see, Heraclitus understood that conflict was key for any form of development, whether it was for society or people's inner transformation. You cannot run away from conflict. And trust me, you know, like how many times have you heard stories where two guys get into a fist fight and they end up being best friends? Again, to engage with life is to engage with conflict. So never forget that. Because nice guys, the reason why they seem, I'm not trying to be harsh, but subhuman, is because they're not fully developed. Because to be fully mature, you have to understand that conflict is a part of life and they have to engage with it. And when you run away, it's like you're stunted in some form. Again, it's hard for me to articulate, but you get the idea. So anyways, that's, you know, I'm gonna wrap it up. I'm going off way on a tangent, but you know, before I let you guys go, just one thing. You know, since I did read Bushido, The Soul of Japan, I actually have to tell Tom Cruise that he is no longer the last samurai. He's actually the second last samurai. Because me, the charismatic nerd, is the last samurai. Alright, that's enough corniness for today. Thank you guys again for watching. Please don't forget to like this video, comment, subscribe to my channel, subscribe to my newsletter, and guys, remember, you're not just any type of nerd, you're a charismatic nerd.